Last week we began our second novel, Crooked House. The setup might seem familiar. A young couple wish to wed, but the shadow of a suspicious death is keeping them from their happily ever after. This time we meet Charles, our narrator, and Sophia, the granddaughter of Aristides Leonidas, a rich Greek businessman who we learned had died under suspicious circumstances. Charles doesn't care. He wants to marry anyway. But Sophia is haunted by the suspicion that the killer is one of her own family. Charles has a history in military intelligence, and his father is the assistant commissioner at Scotland Yard, England's top investigative agency. So he's in a unique position to help. But Sophia insists that they must go it alone, leaving Charles to navigate the Leonidas family on his own. He joins the police detectives in an unofficial capacity and meets the family, each one stranger than the last. They bring to mind the old nursery rhyme, and they all live together in a crooked little house. This, like the circumstances of the story, may ring familiar. Agatha Christie had a habit of using nursery rhymes as guiding points in her novels. You'll get a chance to share your thoughts on why she might do this in a later discussion board. For this week, though, I want you to think about how this book compares to Five Little Pigs in terms of the characters. Certainly, Sophia and Charles bear a resemblance to Carla Crail and her fiancé. But whereas Carla is fairly immediately dismissed from the book, returning only to stand in a corner during the big reveal, Sophia and Charles are our entry point into the novel. We have no helpful Detective Poirot with his egg-shaped head thinking through the problem. Instead, Charles is the one who's going to take us into this world. Which means we must ask, can we trust him? You definitely should ask if he's lying for some reason. But there are lots of ways that a narrator can be unreliable. Is he smart enough to see what he needs to? Is he perceptive enough to ask the right questions? Will he be swayed by personal biases, such as his love for Sophia? He doesn't hide the fact that his primary objective is to get Sophia to marry him, and the best way to do that is to clear her family. Would he hide the truth to accomplish this? From us, or maybe even from himself? The family want Brenda, Aristides' much younger wife, to be the guilty party. They'd settle for Lawrence the tutor as well, but no one really seems to think she did it. Sophia says as much. And here we see another possible bias for Charles, because seeing everyone else so determined to blame Brenda makes him feel sorry for her. She's an underdog, without the education or connections of the rest of the family, and that makes Charles want to take her side, if only because no one else is going to. And the rest of the family is, in Sophia's words, ruthless. Because we only have Charles's viewpoint, as readers we have to read even more critically than usual. We have to be on the lookout, not only for what the suspects might be hiding or lying about, but also what Charles might ignore or overlook. So as you read, pay attention to the details and how Christie presents the characters, setting, and circumstances of the murder and whatever other crimes might follow. Charles might miss a few tricks, but Christie won't. And while she's not going to make it easy, she tends to play fair. And don't forget the lessons from Five Little Pigs. Check your assumptions, be on the lookout for biases, and don't trust in things unless they've been verified. Just because it seems like someone must be guilty, that doesn't mean they are, because someone is always hiding something. Happy reading.